Greetings, everyone. My name is Tony Hollowitz, and in my opinion, what really gets you going and gets you excited about working with Link2Quotes and investing the time in it is the idea of creating your first quote. But in order to create your first quote, you have to have a product or service to put inside that quote. I mean, you've got to tell people what you offer. So I want to draw your attention right up here to where it says products, and I'm going to click on that. And I want you to notice that I have some ice cream products in here. Now, I'm obviously just trying to have some fun with this, but what I find so intriguing is all the options you have when setting up a product. So I'm going to sort of jump into this to give you some ideas of what to think about. And maybe this is a little bit of a cart before the horse approach. But on that note, I want to show you something. Up here, I've visited Ben & Jerry's website, and they have a flavor here called Chunky Monkey. So when I look at this, try to imagine that I work for Ben & Jerry's, and I wanted to create a quote that included this as a product. So because I know some of the things that can go into a product, there are some things I'm thinking about. First of all, I'm thinking about this specific web page and the URL or the web address for this web page, which is right up here. So I'm keeping that in mind. The other thing is there a picture of this Chunky Monkey ice cream? Well, I could potentially grab a screenshot of this ice cream, or I'm noticing down here on the left-hand side, there's a little image down here that if you don't know this, you can right-click on an image and go Save Image As. And I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to save this image as, and I'm going to call it Chunky Monkey. So bear with me a second while I do this. And I'm going to save it on the desktop of my computer right here. So it's an unusual kind of file, so it might or might not work using this file. I might have to convert it to a JPEG. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm getting a picture that I could potentially put inside of my product description. And you'll see that in a minute. So I'm going to click Save. I don't think that particular file type is going to work, but that's something we can work on later. Okay, so let's go back to Linktivity. Let's come up and click on New. Now, one of the things I want you to know is this. If you have products in a spreadsheet, or if you have products inside your ACT database, you can choose to use those products or import from that spreadsheet products so you don't have to go through these steps individually. Now, when this product was first released, Link2Quotes that is, you had to go in and set up all the products in advance before you could put them in the quotes. It has changed now so you can create products on the fly. But I want to show you this so you can understand how this can work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, what's the name of this product? Now I'm going to do a little typing here as I talk. It's Chunky Monkey ice cream. So I'm going to put in the term ice cream at the end just so I can easily find all my ice cream products. So it's Chunky Monkey ice cream. Now, does it have an item number? In this case, no. Brand, category, I'm not going to worry about the brand. Well, maybe if I sold many different types of ice cream, maybe in this case, I'd want to put in Ben & Jerry's. So I'm just going to throw that in here, right here, Ben & Jerry's. Now, the category, in this case, I'm calling it ice cream. Okay, so we got some information here on ice cream. But now, what about a description? Well, if it were me, what I'd do is I'd go back to the Chunky Monkey ice cream page, and I'd come in and see if I can get a description of this someplace. Okay, right here. Now, well, I'm just going to grab this text right here just to illustrate my point. And I'm going to come back to the products, and I'm going to paste it in right here. Okay, so now we have my product description. Okay, regarding the image, I can create a link to that image if it's on a web page. And again, let me go back and show you the potential of what I could do. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go back a page. Remember that little graphic down here? I'm going to right click on it. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on Copy Image Address. Okay. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to type in the address or paste it in right there. And then the product link is this web address. So I'm going to go Control C to copy that. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to put this in the address right there. Okay, so we have an image that we're taking from the website. Now, one thing about the image is if this web page changes or they put in a new image, that might disappear. So it's my opinion that what you should do is maybe in advance go through and save some of these images in advance, because I'll show you how you can import those images right into Link2Quotes so you can use them as a file versus relying on their website to keep that image there and always keep it under the same address and same name. Okay, list price. Let's come in here and say the list price is $6.99. I'm going to type that in. Now, I can also come down and put in costs. Let's say the cost is $2.99. Okay, great. So when we go to option group, the option group, keep in mind, just as a reminder of what this is that an option group takes items and puts them together where you can only choose one of those items. So for example, let's say you had 3 products, A, B, or C, and my quote would only allow you to choose A, B, or C. You can't choose a combination of that, but just one of those 3, A, B, or C. If I called this the ABC option group, then they'd only be able to pick one of the options in that group. And that can be a little confusing, and I'll explain that more later as we go on. Having noted that, I'm not going to put it in an option group. As far as this, I can mark the item as optional. If there's any applicable taxes, that can be added in another area of this software. So I'm going to click on Save and Close. Okay, so let's go up and go back to quotes for just a moment. Let's go to New, because we're going to create a new quote. And when we get into this area where we go to create a new quote, what's going to happen, it's going to prompt me and ask me, who do I want to create this quote for? So I'm going to just call this Chunky Monkey, just to give it a name that I can easily get back to and remember. And let's call it Chunky Monkey 101. I'm going to create this from scratch. And I'm going to click on Create Quote. Now, Create from Scratch is automatically created. But now if we have our quote name, the quote number, we can choose a layout, which I'll discuss a little bit later. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go the default. Actually, I think I'm going to do the standard 2024. I've done some things here. Now, a great way to test this is set it up so the quote is coming to you. And at this point, because I'm connected via the API, I can come here, click on this magnifying glass. And at this point, I'm going to type in one of my contacts in ACT. I'm going to type in Anthony, H-O, and I'm going to click here again on the magnifying glass. And now I've found myself in here. I'm going to click Apply, and I've found my contact info. And what this has done is in ACT, where it has all my address, all my information, that's put right into this. So now I don't have to type anything in. It's dragging all that information over from ACT. So all my hard work over there has come right in. Now there's something here which I'll come back to, a preface header and body. So if I want some text to appear on the top of this quote, I could do that. So right now we've got the beginnings of a quote. It's my opinion that on occasion you should come down when working in a quote and click on Save, this little icon right down here on the bottom left. Now that I've saved this, what I want to do is I want to come up and click on Preview. What's going to happen is a new window is going to open up, and I have a preview of my quote. Now keep in mind, my quote has all my information in it. It pulled this over from ACT. It's got tons of stuff here, but it doesn't have any items or products. So this is the first step. I'm going to navigate back to Linktivity, and I'm going to come edit the quote, and I'm going to put in what's called a line item. And this is where I can put in my product. So I'm going to come up here, click on Add Item. I'm going to click on Product. At this point, over on the right-hand side, this dialog box opened up. I'm going to click on the drop-down, and I'm going to choose Chunky Monkey Ice Cream. And now I've added this product. Okay. So at this point, you'll see it over here on the right-hand side. I'm going to come back down, click on Save. And once I click Save, I can do one of two things. I can come back up and click on Preview, and it will open a new tab with me able to viewing this. But what I typically do is I go back up to the open quote, and I'm just going to refresh the screen. So I'm going to click on Refresh. And now that I clicked on Refresh, here is my Chunky Monkey ice cream. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is this right now is not editable. In other words, it only put the quantity as one. So it's assuming I'm just going to order one. So let's go back to the quote real quick. Let's go back to this item, and when I click on it, this dialog box opens up over on the right-hand side. See right here where it says Make Quantity Editable. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come back over to the left, click on Save. Now I've saved it. I'm going to go back up to the quote. I'm going to refresh this just to refresh the information. And when I do this, now I can edit the amount. So let's say I want to get 6 of these. Now I put in the amount, it multiplied it, and it changed the amount down here. When I come over here and click on Chunky Monkey Ice Cream, this is a hyperlink. When I click on it, it's going to take me to the web page for Chunky Monkey Ice Cream. So where I think this is fascinating, where I think this really gets interesting, is the idea that I can add different things into the quote. I can modify it, I can change it. But now to really go over the top with some of the things you can do, when I click on drop down here, I want you to notice there's a lot of little things I can do. I can put in a heading if I want to, put in, ice cream, subheading. Maybe the subheading is dairy free or dairy. I can just add text if I want to add in some information. I can also put an image in here. So if I click on image, I can now navigate to the drop down and navigate to where those images are. Now, these are the images that I've imported into Act already. So let's do this. Let me just click on this orange care. I'm going to click upload image. And now, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm going to click on the orange care and not upload image, but I'm going to click on select. And now I put an image in there. So let's save this. Let's go back. Let's refresh this. So now, not only do I have my item, but I've got a picture in here as well. So I just want to show you this as I'm starting to work with quotes and give you a sense of what this can all start to come together as. When I look at these items, I can add items such as a video. Now the video is really just, maybe it's a product description video, or maybe if you have a service, it's an introduction to you. All kinds of things you can do with this and get very creative. Now, what works for you and your business and how you work, that's completely up to you. But there's a wide range of possibilities when creating these quotes. And this is sort of the point where, honestly, I got to tell you, this gets pretty exciting when you think about all the potential and all the things you can do with it. And this is where I think, wow, you got to take a step back and say, what do I want to make of this tool? And now all of a sudden, it's really fascinating what you can do with it. In upcoming tutorials, I'm going to show you how to decide, okay, next, we've got the quote, we're finished, we've got to get it out. What is the next step in doing that? And I'll address that a little bit more later on. Okay, everyone, thank you so very much for being here. I hope you can see how this could be incredibly interesting for creating quotes. And this is just a first look at creating your first quote. Okay, my friends, have a great day. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Be well. Bye now.